It was supposed to be a quiet weekend. Nestled deep in the forests of Oregon, my cabin was the one place where silence reigned supreme, where the rustling pines and chirping birds outnumbered humans by the thousands. I had rented it out to a group of federal agents through a private, off-the-books arrangement for an intensive undercover training program. No one knew, not even the local authorities, thanks to the classified nature of their assignment, except, of course, Karen. Karen wasn't law enforcement. She wasn't military. She wasn't even neighborhood watch. But if you gave her a clipboard and a reflective vest, she'd think she was in command of NORAD. Ever since she and her self-appointed patrol moved into a community 20 miles away, she had made it her personal mission to patrol every inch of the area for safety. Violations, trespassing signs, irrelevant. Personal privacy, optional. If you so much as sneezed too loudly, Karen would appear, armed with a walkie-talkie, a phone, and the kind of determination only someone with too much time and not enough authority could muster. Which is exactly how it happened. It was 5:13 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Inside the cabin, the FBI team was deep into their simulation, practicing how to blend into civilian life while under surveillance. The agents, all in casual wear, were role-playing as ordinary citizens while a few instructors posing as threats tested their reactions. The cabin, rigged with hidden cameras, was being used to monitor behavioral responses under pressure. Outside, Karen and her patrol had arrived. According to later reports and her Facebook Live video titled "Taking Back Our Forest," Karen had spotted an unfamiliar vehicle near the trailhead 2 days earlier. Despite the fact that the cabin was on private land and the vehicles were legally parked, Karen decided she had uncovered a domestic terror cell. Apparently her training from binge-watching true crime documentaries had taught her to act first and ask questions never. Dressed in camo print yoga pants, a matching jacket, and a bicycle helmet for protection, she claimed, Karen marched up the gravel path with two other officers, Steve, a retired wedding DJ, and Marlene, who once took a criminology course at a community college. They didn't knock. They didn't announce themselves. They kicked in the door, and what they found inside was the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Chaos erupted. Agent Ramirez, halfway through pouring coffee, instinctively went into defense mode and tackled Steve. Marlene screamed something about being a sovereign citizen and tried to pepper spray Agent DeWitt, which ended poorly for her. Karen, ever the leader, attempted to pull out a homemade citizen's arrest warrant printed on floral stationery and laminated with duct tape. She didn't even get the chance to read the first sentence before being handcuffed. Within seconds, the simulation was over, replaced by a very real, very unexpected breach of national security training protocols. Luckily, the agents had the presence of mind not to draw weapons. No one was hurt, though Steve's pride and wrist might never fully recover. Karen, Steve, and Marlene were detained, questioned, and ultimately arrested for trespassing, obstruction of justice, and interference with a federal operation. The irony: they were only spared felony charges because the operation was too classified for the FBI to publicly confirm what had happened. Meanwhile, the agents had to submit incident reports explaining how 3 civilians had managed to breach an active federal training site with nothing more than suspicion and a crowbar. The door was fixed within hours. The training resumed. But the legend lived on. Within days, the story spread like wildfire in law enforcement circles. "Don't go full Karen" became a new phrase among trainees. Agents began referring to the exercise as Operation Yoga Pants, and a sketch artist even drew a caricature of Karen holding her laminated warrant, which was secretly framed and hung in the cabin's briefing room. In a later interview, which she gave to a conspiracy blog called Truth Be Told Unfiltered, Karen claimed she had saved the nation from a sleeper cell. "I knew something was off," she said, adjusting her Hello Kitty mug on camera. "They were too quiet, too polite. Real Americans yell at each other over Wi-Fi speeds." She went on to suggest that the FBI agents were crisis actors, and that she had in fact foiled a psyop. No one knows if she actually believes that. or if it's just her way of dealing with the humiliation. Her patrol was quietly disbanded. Marlene went back to selling crystals. Steve started a podcast called DJ vs. Deep State. Karen? She's been surprisingly quiet since then, except for one recent social media post where she warned people not to trust men who wear khakis and drink black coffee. There's something oddly comforting about the absurdity of it all. In a time where we fear the worst from strangers, this incident reminded us of the dangers that come from misplaced confidence and unchecked authority. Karen thought she was protecting her country, but in truth, she almost derailed a legitimate operation because she couldn't mind her own business. So if you ever find yourself deep in the woods and something seems suspicious, maybe pause. Maybe knock. Maybe, just maybe, don't kick in the door of a cabin full of undercover federal agents, especially if you're wearing yoga pants and carrying a walkie-talkie. The FBI has since updated its protocols for private training locations. Karen now lives in Florida. Coincidence? We may never know.